Hey, dear ones, it is wonderful to be with you on June 14th. I'll read through the Word. I'm not sure that I've done this. And if I have, it's okay that I repeat myself. I wanted to make sure that I let you guys in on something. Make sure that when you are reading, you're reading Kings, that you read the Chronicles version. Because it's like Kings is the Reader's Digest and Chronicles is the expanded version. I remember when I was first starting out reading the Bible that I thought, oh, how sweet of God to put the same story in there twice and I only have to read it once and still read the whole Bible. You know I am about reading. I'm not a big reader. But I do remember, I don't remember what year it was, but I remember this moment where I read the Kings, whatever portion it was in Kings, and then I read the portion in Chronicles, and I was like, whoa, so many missing pieces from the story are in Chronicles. So we're really missing a lot when we don't read Chronicles because we think we've already read the story in Kings. So just throwing that out there. Wow, today's lesson, is one of the ones that I had to search for and had to keep digging. And I have these verses underlined in 2 Kings 8:19 and also in 2 Chronicles 21 verse 7. But the Lord did not want to destroy Judah, for he had made a covenant with David. A covenant's a promise. With David, and promised that his descendants would continue to rule, shining like a lamp forever. And I have both of those underlined from previous years of reading, because they're the same, and we'll have a line drawn from them. But it hit me today a couple things. God, this is not new. This is not a new revelation. God is a promise keeper. He keeps his promises regardless of how faithful his people are. Just let that sit with you for a minute. Seriously. I'm not God. I know that. Some of y'all are more like God than me. So maybe you can get this better than me. But if I've promised to do something for someone and they have done something to not deserve or not be worthy of that promise, I don't want to keep it. I'll find some reason, I'm telling on myself, not to keep the promise. Seriously. They don't deserve it. But God is not a man that he should lie, a son of man that he should change his mind. Has he said and he will not do it? Or has he spoken and will he not fulfill it? For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That is who our God is. Now these people had turned away from God. They deserve judgment and punishment. We deserve judgment and punishment because of our sinful ways. But God made a covenant, the Abrahamic covenant, with Abraham that said all generations will be blessed because of you. He is a promise keeper because he made that promise to Abraham. I am a child of God because of my faith in Jesus, because of the covenant. That blows my mind. Mercy is God not giving us what we deserve. Grace is God giving us something we don't deserve. And we get both of those because our God is a man who would not lie. I looked at several versions, translations of this verse, because that's just what I do. You know that. And I loved, nevertheless, the Lord, but the Lord, yet the Lord, however, whatever they did before the however, and howbeit, the Lord did not destroy Judah. So here are my moments. Am I living in a time of nevertheless, but yet, however, and howbeit? Am I living in a nevertheless, but yet, however, howbeit? Is there someone in my generational line that God made a covenant with, a promise to, and I am the recipient of that? Mind blown. Mind blown. I know my grandma Neely was a prayer. A woman of God down to her hair being down to her ankles when she died. Because long hair is a woman's glory. No makeup, no jewelry. She would not even wear her wedding band. This was after my granddaddy got saved. Because she didn't want to have any adornments on her that would attract someone to her physical beauty rather than her godliness. And I don't mean that in pride. She didn't wear pants unless she was blackberry picking. She'd put her pants on under her dress. What did my grandma Neely pray? That I could live a blessed life. What did my grandma Bright pray? My grandma Adkins, what did they pray? Am I living in a nevertheless, but yet, however, how be it era, time? And here is something else is I want to have a heart so much like God's that he would keep his promises to my generational line. That he not only would, that he would make them and that he would keep them. And that one day, one of my great grandchildren would go, who am I that I have this kind of life? Not a life of riches and worldly material things, but the hand of God on them. Because this promise, this covenant went back to David. David, the one who murdered. David, the one who had an affair. David, the one who lusted. But God didn't look at his sin. He didn't make a covenant. He made a covenant with this man because of his heart. And generations of people are being spared because of his covenant with David. Friends, I want to live a life worthy of a generation that wakes up one day and says, how? I don't deserve this. How is this happening? It's happening because of the covenant keeping God of your great, 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 great grandma. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.